to take serious, and that is the implementation of the conditions that were administered in those approvals. As we look back at the record and we kind of contemplate and decipher what happened, I'm not sure what Mr. Attia thought he was getting when the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy made it pretty well known where they thought the corridor would be. So when Mr. Attia agreed to those conditions, both with the city and with the private agreement, that the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy would have a say-so in where that corridor would be, I'm not sure why he thought Mr. Edelman would all of a sudden change his mind from what he had decided the year prior. That being said, we understand the predicament and some of the precarious natures of what's taking place. Councilman Kretz, who was here earlier this evening, I think said it correctly, and that is we want a workable corridor that fulfills the purpose of what it's there for. Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy, those who we say are kind of the brain trust, those who understand what's taking place here, what needs to happen, they don't seem concerned with the back portions of the property. It is very steep. There's a reason why Mr. Attia isn't building back there. They are, I'd say, close to one-to-one slopes, and it's not useful for animals to go back there. I think the intention has always been for the corridor to run along that kind of called the left-hand side of the properties and snake down to Standing Hills. The idea being it has to be a trail headed downhill or uphill. Animals will have to cross streets. We just know that. Them walking along the street or walking along the hillside doesn't really get them to where they're supposed to go to fulfill the nature of the corridor. So the councilman supports the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy's kind of secondary request. And it's less than what was originally requested. Originally requested is 20 feet top to bottom. That's the way it's supposed to go. The new plan that has been submitted, that I know that you guys have just submitted, is a compromise. But if the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy is willing to sign off on it, we're willing to sign off on it as well. It seems to make sense. And if there is going to be a vacation of Marywood, we would ask that the entire vacation also be a part of that wildlife corridor, to add an additional, and by the way, when I say the whole thing, I mean Mr. Attia's half of it, be a part of that wildlife corridor to make up for those portions that aren't exactly 20 feet wide. Because in the end, I think with the compromise, Mr. Attia gets his access and he gets his home. He may not get the exact home he wanted, but that's kind of what he signed up for, unfortunately. So I understand that the corridor as presented cuts through the corner of the home, but if you drew on the plans the home bigger, it cut through more of the home. And if you drew the home smaller, it would cut through less of the home. It would cut through none of the home. So it's kind of a hardship of his own making, we believe. And so we support the Conservancy's secondary plan, and we would just add that Mrs. Wyatt had it right. They should have to file for a street vacation, and that street vacation be paid for by the applicant to make sure that he can comply with this corridor, and that the entirety of that 10-foot wide corridor be added to that wildlife corridor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Kim, did you have a question?
Mr. Bayliss, were you able to receive a copy of the additional proposals?
I'll say I've seen so many, but I have not seen them this evening, so if there's something different from the previous submittals, then no, I've not seen them pretty different.
Thank you. Mr. Attia, can you copy now?